Hey everyone, Ryan7 here. Today, this is my first Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville video. This one, I'll be showing you the details of every single character's abilities. By details, I mean, well, damage, really. And by that, I also mean just basically normal attacks, basically yada yada yada. Whatever, just you're gonna see the damage numbers of each attack, starting with the plants and then the zombies. What I will be using to test this is, on the plant side, are these dummies right here that don't die. Either that or they have like so high amount of health that they're just incomprehensible. Start the pea shooter. 13 damage on a direct body. I think it's actually supposed to do more, but we're not gonna focus on that right now. I think it's supposed to do like 24. Here's the chili bean bomb. No idea, but I know it does significantly more damage. Look, I tried to like for splash damage characters, I want to have it like so that they can, well, you know, have accurate test results just on these dummies. So, more. Alright, pea gatling. About 10 damage per shot. That's more with the headshot. And pea soup is just the faster firing rate. Jump height, faster, and hover. The next plant is Chomper. Now, his goop... Hold up. Never mind. Now, his spikeweed does do damage, but I'm currently playing on a thing with absolutely no AI whatsoever. So, whatever. Spikeweed just deals, like, about 10, maybe 15 damage per spikeweed, and it does do it multiple times. His goop does no damage, all it does is just immobilize targets. And his burrow attack instant kill, so we're really only going to be focusing on his secondary fire and his chomp. His chomp does about 30 damage. And his spit does about 23. That's realistically all you need to know about Chomper, really. Colonel Corn, I loved this character in Garden Warfare 2. And in this game, he got nerfed super hard. So, here we have his, assault thingies. 4 damage per. Interesting. Alright, now is Husk Hop. This used to be a thing, but now it only just highlights zombies in the area. Unfortunately, so... Let's test out his Shuck Shot. It does a respectable amount of damage. I did not land any of those. Hold up. Just instant refreshing his abilities is that's it. Huh, it doesn't register. I know it still does an insane amount of damage, so just keep in mind. Nightcap. The most overpowered plant in the game right now. Actually, I don't even know it, actually. 13 damage basic. Does not do damage, just pulls in towards the center and makes me invisible. His Fung Fu, though, does about 8 damage per hit, so that's pretty reliable. 8 damage per hit anywhere in that radius equals a lot of damage. Snapdragon. I like this name. Hot Shot Hot House. Nice name. Then we have a Snapdragon. Normal Flame Breath does 4 damage plus fire damage tacked on to that if you get them ignited. Here's his Blazing Trail. It does about 5 damage per, but again, doesn't affect targets. His Dive Bomb attack does a lot of damage. I've seemed to notice that on a direct hit, it does about 105 per, so 105, 150, so. Then his Blue Fireball does a significant amount too, about 50. Alright, and a secondary attack. Does about 12 damage per shot. Cactus. Cactus is actually interesting since the potato mines do a lot of damage on themselves. About 120-ish. I know that for sure. Look, okay, I don't want to, like, reload into another Giddy Park with AI. But I've played with them a few times, so I pretty much know. Cactus's Unsculpt attack does about 5 damage, so not to take down a Parrot Pal. So, okay, so now Cactus is an interesting one because the secondary fire does multiple different damages based on its damage meter. So, Bear, 5, 1 tick, 15, 2 tick, 34, then 62, which basically nearly 100 damage on a headshot at full damage. Now his Garlic Drone, 10 damage per shot, and then about 10 damage per Corn Rocket. Citron. Oh boy, I used to love this character a lot. So each pellet of his thing does 2 damage. And he fires 3. The EMP doesn't do any damage outright. It does counter Z-Mech Imps from the second game. I'm not sure about this game though, actually. His Naval Laser, 5 damage to then 10, then 15. It's full on 18 damage headshot for the Naval Laser at full power. And this thing does about like 70 damage. His speedy rollout does 70 damage, so it's pretty effective. Acorn. This is actually somewhat difficult to measure because if we want to measure the full potential of Acorn, you have to have all 3 passengers, and yeah. His spinny thing does like no damage. It does nothing. Alright, so let's try his 4 damage per oak shot. I don't know what that is. And a Sap Trap at max power. It does 15 splash, so yeah, it does about 60 damage at the maximum. Alright, and we forgot his oak. Now, his log attack does a solid 60 damage per piece. His normal fire does about 9-10 damage. And it has splash damage. His heavy goop does a whopping 105 per. So, he is very strong, especially with 3 Acorn passengers, as they both can either heal him or throw out their own Sap Trap. Now we get to the plants that aren't really meant for damage. First off is Flower of Sun. That's a cute running animation. Wait, hold up. It's a Naruto run! Nani? Okay, I'll stop. So just standard, this thing does about 5 damage. And her Sunbeam does 9 damage, so 1 lower than P Gatlings. But, you know, it's a laser. Then Rose. Rose doesn't really do... Rose's only main form of damage is her Scepter and her other abilities. Jinx just increases the amount of damage zombies can take, and this just turns zombies into goats. You know, this just provides a speed buff to anyone in the radius. Alright, so her Scepter damage, and that's the only damage she can really deal, is 7 per shot, and it doesn't fire quickly, so... That's it for the plants, basically. Then we have the zombies, starting with the most basic of zombies, Foot Soldier, aka one of my favorite classes from the first 2 games. I really like his running animation, if you couldn't tell. I mean, seriously. Just look at it. Zomboss's obligatory accuracy test. Here we have Crazy Dave himself. His standard blaster does 4 damage. His rocket jump doesn't do any damage. His smoke cloud does about like 2 damage. Not a lot. And his ZPG 125. In previous games it could one-shot any class in the game. Imp. I swear to God, Imp was taking a selfie. This is also another strange one. I mean, we have the Imp's Z-Mech stuff to talk about. Alright, so his standard blaster does 4 damage. And it fires significantly faster than Foot Soldier, so I might be thinking, well, Foot Soldier has an RPG and Imp has a mech, so what? The thing is, Imp can do this and be a really hard target to hit. His Gravity Bubble does absolutely no damage. His Imkana does about 1 damage, even at maximum distance. So now we wait for his mech to charge. I like the Gravity Bubble's new aesthetics, but it's just so precisely. I'm also pretty sure they changed the Imkana to where the enemies actually get sucked up into it. Also, the Imp's running animation, just look at it. I also like this, Dance Hall of Obedience. I don't want to, though. Alright, so now Imp Smack. So, 6 damage per shot. That's a lot of damage. Wait, did I just... Nani? Ah, who, forget it. Jojo. Let's try that again. whatever. His missiles do about 9 damage. And that's also a lot of missiles, so... About 150 damage for his come on and slam and welcome to the jam. Then his eject. It does a lot of damage, I think, if that is true. Super Braids, aka my favorite zombie right now because he is really good. His punch. 30, 35, 40. So it does it definitely within that 1, 2, 3 combo it kills nightcaps easily. This whirlwind does about 11 damage actually to plants instead of 5. His Hadouken does about 75, which is a lot. And his come on and slam and welcome to the jam does about 70 actually. Then his super fist punch. 80 damage at full charge. Uh, 37, 54, 80. So, yep, Super Brains is very strong. 80's action hero, which is a hero I like. I can tell you off the bat that his explosive getaway does about 70 damage. His normal bow, though, if all arrows connect, deal... his light arrows, aka those spamming ones, do 2 damage. His 3-shot arrows do 4. And his fully charged arrow does about 45. Here are the damage numbers combined. Yep, 70 damage. His never missiles do a lot of damage if they actually hit. I barely hit them, so I can't exactly memorize how much damage they do. And if I stand a bit back. Don't show Nani? Hold up. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Forget it. And his rocket ride, it's about 10 damage per rocket. And also the music is baller. I want to level up from shooting targets. There we go. Sorry, I just wanted to do that for fun. Next up is Slide Electric. Hold up. Alright, Electric Slide. Now, Electric Slide's only sources of damage are her Tornado attack and her thingy. Other than that, the Magnet Bomb doesn't do any damage unless it yeets the plants off the map, and her out-of-fight move is passive, grants her invulnerability, all that stuff. Alright, so our main attack does about 9 to 11 damage. And her tornado attack does at first about 3, then about 10, then 30 every time a plant remains in that zone. That's really it. Then is Dreadbeard. Or Deadbeard, I should say. Yoink! Alright. So each pellet of his shotgun does 2 damage. Now let's test out his actual, like, scope. No damage, 5. Hold up. 1 tick, 1 tick, 15. 2 ticks, 34. And 62. So about the same damage as Cactus, except without the rapid fire and just with the shotgun. His anchor does no damage, but his booty barrel is not only a great disguise tactic, but also a pretty good weapon, as it deals about 125-50 damage. 150 damage. Then his Parrot Pal. 7 damage per pulse, and his Egg Bomb, like 17 and then a bunch of small, like 70 and then a bunch of smaller 15 damage explosions afterwards. Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. I'm getting copyrighted for that. I'm sorry, Smash Mouth. All-star. R1 does no damage, it's just a shield. Five damage per football. And punt does, I have no idea. And his tackle, I didn't see that actually. I think that was like 72? Shield up. Oh, yes. And then his Space Cadet. So, and as I was saying, Space Cadet. His thing actually has aimbot, so about 5 damage per shot, which, considering the amount of ammo he has, and the fact that rapid fire is pretty deadly. His laser shot, 100 damage. That, I don't know why it's reduced damage. Next is his UFO Grand Slam. Direct hit does not do 10 damage, but instead does like 150. Then his Space Station. Now, in order to get the full effect, again, we need 3 more Space Cadets. Standard fire does about 6 to 7 damage per laser. His Death Star attack does about 20 to 30 damage. That's really it. And then Scientist. Now, Scientist doesn't really have any damage other than his shotgun. Although, can I just say that he is the medic from TF2 now. Each shot does about 3 damage. And with the amount of pellets that he fires, it's pretty deadly. And Engineer. His turret doesn't really do that much damage, but it does let him shoot faster and regain ammo. In fact, that does that for all zombies in this area. Sonic Boom, absolutely no damage, just stuns them. The Speed Pad is a speed pad. His grenades do about, I highly doubt it's even 6 damage. I think that's just splash damage. But yeah, that's about like most decently accurate portrayal, because all of these guys do not have any weapon upgrades that improve damage, actually. So yeah, these are just their base damage stats. If you want to get better damage, you're gonna have to play as the characters for a long time. Alright. That's about that. Bye.